The iPhone X has been out for a few months now. When it first came out, I did a video and I spoke about the design, specifications, and I talked about the price, the very, very high price, and how, well, I didn't really think it was worth the money. But what I didn't really touch upon was whether it would be a success. I kind of just assumed that it would be successful. But there's been a lot of news over the last week that suggests, well, maybe it hasn't been successful. Certainly not as successful as Apple had hoped. I mean, from a design point of view, the iPhone X is obviously gorgeous, but it's all about the Benjamins. It's all about the bottom line. And the news reports over the last week has suggested that, well, they haven't reached their targets. And there's a lot of rumours saying that Apple are going to produce less because they didn't sell as many as they had hoped. But there's also some rumours out there saying that, well, they're just going to stop it altogether. You know, when it comes at the end of its life, they'll just stop producing it and they'll just move on to the next phone. Which one is true? Well, I don't know. You know, a lot of these rumours, sometimes they come from thin air. But, you know, the volume of rumours and news stories about this, I suspect there's something behind this. And I suspect Apple aren't happy with the targets they set. The targets they set for, well, 2017, 2018. So, was the iPhone X a failure? Well, going by Apple's own very high standards, you know, they're looking at things on a global stage. It looks like if these rumours are true, then yes, the iPhone X was a failure. It was a commercial failure. I doubt they lost money through it, but maybe it didn't, you know, reach the I don't know, maybe because they've had the iPhone X and the iPhone 8, maybe they've split their profits and maybe things haven't grown as much as they should have. I don't know, but in that regard, perhaps it can be considered a commercial failure. And I mean, as my original view on the iPhone X is pretty much the same. It's an absolute gorgeous phone. It's, you know, got good specs, but it's very, very expensive. But I will say that over the last few years, if you look at the iPhone 5, 6, 7, 8, it was really just an evolution, you know, of the phone. The design got a little bit slimmer every year, but they really weren't trying anything radical. They weren't taking risks. And the iPhone X is the first time in a few years that I've seen Apple taking a risk with anything. From a technology point of view, when they say, oh, look, it's got wireless charging, oh, it's got this, it's got that, by and large, everything they introduce has already been, you know, tested for a few years by Samsung and other Android phones. Apple, obviously, you know, where their strength lies is refining the product. So they don't really take that many risks. Not as much as they claim they do anyway. But I think the iPhone X is the first time that they've actually did something a little bit different, and they've thrown their marketing and all their, you know, their weight behind it. So yeah, commercially, it might not have been the success that they had hoped, but it's, you know, it's the first phone in a few years where I think, you know, they've done something that was worthwhile. As far as what's going to happen next, you know, they're saying they're going to make less, or they're saying that they could stop it. I hope that doesn't happen. You know, I do think this is a ridiculously expensive phone, but when this first came out, you know, there's a lot of people talk about the notch, and there's problems with, you know, calls and other technical problems, but I think this, you know, it's important to remember that this is the first product. This is the first generation of the iPhone X. I always had it, you know, at the back of my mind that when they bring out the X2 or the X point, or whatever they call their X version, when they bring that one out, I think it would be a little bit more refined. They'd probably have a lot of feedback at that point on what works and what doesn't, and then they'd come out with a better product. So, yeah, I'd like to hear what you guys think about this. Was the iPhone X a failure? Commercially, it looks like it was, but my opinion is that, well, they took a chance, and I'm glad they did. Anyway, over to you guys. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, especially if you have an iPhone X or if you've tried one. Let me know below in the comment area. Till next time, take care.